BlogTalk Radio.
I'll take the night, 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 I'll take the night. 'Cause you have a heart that's divine, deserving you are, girl, you're mine. Eternity's ours, yeah, you're mine. We'll live a life, I'll take the night.
Welcome to Take the Night, and I'm your host, Boyd, with co-hosts D. Shine and Angelica Martinez. And tonight is a pop-up show. It's a pop-up show because I woke up this morning and went through the whole day not intending to do a show, and then I just was like, why don't we do a pop-up show, or the option to do a pop-up show by just saying, hey, if you guys want us to do a show, just give us a topic and we'll get on here and we'll do a show. Because I've been in a place where I've really just I've been doing other things. So I haven't been feeling like actually coming on the show, doing Take the Night in such a formal fashion, though I'm always having conversations like the conversations we have on Take the Night, people within my inner circle and stuff like that. And people are getting on me too, like, why haven't you been doing the show? And I'm like, because I go with the flow, and that's how it gets down. Especially when things start to become routine, it really loses the magic and it becomes boring. And hold on for a second, you guys. I'm not familiar with this number that I see right here in front of me. I have to. Okay, yeah, I don't know who that is. That's not Angelica. She's showing up fashionably late tonight. But what was I saying? Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying. Yeah. But it was somewhere along the lines of saying how when things just become routine, it loses its magic. And in my life, at least, I've noticed that within the cycle that is me, right? There's certain times when I'm going to be into doing, here, hold on, Angelica's here. And there she goes. Now, did I predict it or did I manifest it?
You manifested it.
I manifested it. Oh, you sound like someone I know over here by saying that. I'm like Sarah.
Yeah,
I manifested her lateness.
No, it's hilarious. It's so hilarious stuff. But, that's what happens. That's what's happening now. So.
I think I did well in your absence, your brief absence. I was just explaining how, we haven't been doing the show in a minute, and it's been all my fault. It has been. It's been my fault. No reason other than I just haven't wanted to do the show. Though I've been kind of doing the show just in personal conversations, right?
Well, okay, and that's why I wanted to say that's not entirely true. Because, had I said, boy, let's do the show, and I pushed it, it would have been like, yeah, let's do it. But it wasn't that type of thing. It was a mutual agreement. And, just like you said, our talks are just like having the show. And we would talk 2-3 hours, at a time. So,
yeah,
we were still having the show, but just not publicly.
Exactly. And again, like I've told some people that were asking me about it, sometimes, in life you have to kind of go into like isolation and and study and learn about yourself and things that you've never had an interest in, so you can continue to expand and do it for yourself and not based on just having information to go out and socialize about. And that's how it ends up being an authentic and organic growth, and it's for you, right? And you'll continue to do it, whether anyone's around or not. And for me to even, have wanted to create this show in the first place, I had to have gone through processes where I went away and I just absorbed things and learned about myself and dealt with things I was going through. So from an individual perspective, it was just that time, and I'm still in that time, and we'll talk about the adjustments to the new season of Take the Night and all that kind of stuff as we go on. But yeah, I know I was mentioning in our individual cycles, sometimes you'll notice you're into maybe you're into bike riding for a long period of time, and then sometimes you might be into painting, and then you're there for a long period of time, and then you switch it up, and you're reading a book every single day, and then you go away from that, and maybe you're drawing every single day. So, if you pay attention to yourself, your spirit kind of tells you where you need to be, and mine was just like, it's not on the radio show right now, So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Clarity on that for anyone that was wondering. So, but yeah, so we, going into season 2 of Take the Night, we're going to have some adjustments. Miss Angelica over there is going to really be taking the reins and stuff like that, right, Angelica? Right?
Yeah, I mean, we, just like we've talked about, just doing different aspects and taking different roles, and it doesn't necessarily mean that boys aren't going to be involved. I mean, it's just a different perspective, a different, feeling to it, but still part of the whole thing. That's why it's kind of like season 2. Like, it's still the original, but it's the second part, still including the original. Yeah. So it's a continuation of the story, and just like everybody, you always go through growth and expansion. And the thing is that you can't fear expansion because you get into a comfort zone, and that's why some certain people they're all right with that. They're okay with doing the same thing, or in the same type of format or structure over and over again that works for them. But people who are open to trying new things and expanding aren't afraid to go outside of their comfort zone. I mean, me is a prime example because I've never done podcasts before Boyd approached me. It's like I've spoken before, I've participated on, topics before and things of that nature. And so taking a step out of my own comfort zone to just participate, try it, see what happens, you never know. And it just became, routine, something that allowed me to grow and everybody that was partaking in it. And to see that is awesome. I mean, we're growing, both of us, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what really, is awesome about it.
So to give clarity on, where we're going with season 2 is basically I won't be present every time Take the Night is on air. But Angelica will be here, and she'll have someone else with her. I'll definitely be listening, though, but I won't necessarily be present, in the mix of the discussion every time the show is on. And that's the change of pace and the switch up, the change of pace and the switch up that Angelica's alluding to, on how, it'll be mixed up, it'll be a little different going on, a little bit different kind of thing going on. And yeah, we're going to just mix it up and try something new for the second season of this thing. But since we did the pop-up and we're kicking it off, of course I'm on here with Angelica tonight. and we're going to do this thing like this. So I just wanted to clarify that with everyone. I'm definitely still going to be listening and stuff like that and involved. But, yeah. So when we put out the whole announcement that we were going to do a pop-up show tonight, we left the determining factor of if we were actually going to be doing it up to if anyone had a suggestion that they wanted us to kind of go into. And someone actually did. And I believe it has...
Okay, here's the other thing, too. Boy manifested that, too. Because he was like, watch Bonnie mention something. And sure enough, Bonnie will always listen, which we love and participate and appreciate, came up with the topic. So it's...
Yeah, we love Bonnie.
It's turning into... Yeah,
Bonnie's loved. Because Bonnie always shows up, and she's like, she gets involved and stuff like that. And I thought after the fact, and like I said, I probably should have made a YouTube video saying this because I know, my YouTube channel, people are more active. Like for me on Facebook, it seems to be like the more shy platform when it comes to me on there. But on YouTube, I have people commenting on my videos telling me to shut up. So there's no shyness there. So if I made a video like, hey, I'm sure people would suggest, and then I would have people that jump on because of the lack of shyness in that platform just to tell me to shut up. But yeah, Bonnie suggested something like something to do with the things in retrograde, and I told Angelica, I said that's gonna be your specialty, but I'll give my, and I'm sure a conversation.
It's not my specialty. I know some things because I took it upon myself to read and take the time out, but I'm not specialist. Just clarify.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not specialist.
I didn't mean it like, okay, I didn't mean she was a specialist. How I meant it is regarding the two of us, like me personally, I don't tend to focus so much on the retrogrades and stuff like that. But Angelica writes goddess guidances every month. That's where she goes into a lot of things about the time we're going into. And astrology is a point in that. That's why you guys should definitely contact Angelica and shoot her email so you can get on that email list to get that goddess guidance for the plug real quick, right? The goddess guidance.
Yeah, and that's something else that I had talked to you about, changing where I'm just going to be doing it during like the new moon and the full moon. Because I take a lot of time to go into, seeing what's going on, interpreting things, and just the overall feeling. And right now, it is a lot of energy. And so it tends to, want to make people go deeper into themselves, which means more so into things that they enjoy, things they love, and figuring that out. So this is a part of that, for me. Getting into more detail understanding of, the effects of these big celestial bodies and this cosmic energy that, is around us and the effects that it has on us. So, to me that's interesting. So, just to FYI.
Yeah, so what exactly is the deal with, or what has been the deal with these certain bodies going in the retrograde, and how is that affecting people, overall, and individuals that have birthdays within it all, Yeah.
Which to me is something that's been talked about a lot in regards to people who deal in astrology or tarot or the moon generally. Retrograde means, going backwards, or slowing down. So the signs that are in retrograde and their meanings and the signs that they affect is just a backward kind of slowing effect. And so everything that's going on right now is just happening at a slower pace. even down to electronics not working. It's very frustrating because it's like, I think Boyd experienced the other day, things just restarting, are just slowing down for no reason. And it's just like, what the heck? Communications or miscommunications between people. And it's all an effect of these things, going slower, just slowing down, and that's really a sign of, as you spoke before, of just like solitude. People need to go into solitude. There's nothing wrong about that, to take in everything, because it's like you got to slow down sometimes, slow down, take it easy, reflect, and on this soul, or this, I don't want to say soul journey, but self-mastery journey, taking time for yourself to reflect on, your circumstances, what's going on, why you react a certain way, things that you desire, the intentions that you want to set, all of that, questioning where they come from and why you really want them and their purpose or why they're happy. All of it is really an opportunity. In my perspective, it's an opportunity to grow, to see where you can improve. Everybody has something to improve on, something that they're passionate about or they want to know about. Well, really part of the same thing, but having this time on slowing down really has taken effect on people because they're really going into themselves, especially with the energy that we have now because we're in Cancer. Cancer is of the moon, which is of emotion, deep emotion, So a lot of this deep emotions and things going on of that nature are bubbling to the surface.
So I have a question. I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
What's up?
Why? What went in retrograde that's causing that? Like, which one? Like, what planet did that? What planet is in retrograde? First of all, for assuming somebody just came in here to just jump in and see what's going on, right? What went in retrograde recently?
Oh my goodness, it's not even about recently. This has been going on. Let's see, since I believe, I want to say maybe June or July when the planets have started in retrograde. But the ones that have like the biggest effect are Mercury because they're the planets closest. Mercury is closest to us. Everybody noticed that. Everybody talks about, Mercury in retrograde. The one really has to understand, as we've spoken before on cause and effect. It's the same thing when it comes to cosmic energy. The closer something is to you, the more of an effect it's going to have on you. Same thing with dealing with people. The more you deal with somebody, you put yourself into a certain environment, the more of an effect it's going to have on you. So the planets, hold on, I'm about to pull it up right now because it's not like I keep this thing permanently in my mind about what planets are in retrograde. So I'm going to tell you right now.
You need to. Okay, cool. That way we can.
So I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah. So Mars is in retrograde right now. Saturn is in retrograde, Neptune, and Pluto. So you got Mars, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. So that's 4 right now. Okay?
All together right now.
And then, all together right now. But in July 25th is when Mercury goes into retrograde. So this month, at the end of the month, is when Mercury goes into retrograde. So, but the thing is, Jupiter was in retrograde, if I believe so, for a while. And that came out of retrograde. But I don't know when was.
So when me and Sarah were acting a fool, what was the retrograde then?
Oh my gosh. That was like what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, what was in retrograde on?
I think it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, most of these planets were probably still in retrograde. I believe Jupiter still was, but I'd have to double check. But, like I said, all these things, everything is slower. Everything is slowed down. So all those planets in those signs, so let me just make sure. Okay, so Mars is actually in Aquarius right now. Okay, so Mars, Aquarius, slowed down. Saturn in Capricorn, slowed down.
Okay, so
Neptune
let's stop.
in
Mars,
Pisces,
what does Mars have dominion over when it comes to, how it affects the individual?
Well, Mars, what do you think of when you think of Mars?
No, I know what I think of. I'm just kind of saying.
No. I'm asking you because it's like, do you know exactly? I mean, generally.
Well,
these are
okay, so
that I would ask people.
Generally, when I think of Mars, I think of the like war, confrontation, or a lack thereof. So it has something to do somewhere in there with communication or the lack of communication, but also like strength. People kind of, that Mars energy is going to kind of go out there, put its, a foot forward and step up. So, I don't know. That's just what, off the cusp, what I would think of when I associate Mars is loosely off the top of the head.
Right. And that's generally accurate. Because it's like Mars is the god of war. War is confrontational. They're passionate, and that's what it's like. Aries is is ruled by Mars. Aries people are very fiery. You know this. That's that's why it's like that's why it's like when that is in retrograde, it's in Aquarius right now. Aquarius is the water bearer, which is the total opposite. Water and fire. It's kind of the opposite, but it brings newness because Aquarius is a water bearer. It's newness. It's a different way of thinking. It's putting out those, fiery passions because it's like it's slowing it down to understand it. That's why we're in Cancer, this deep feeling energy. That's why all this is bubbling up, or it's part of it.
So wait. You kind of broke up a little bit. You said that's why we're in what? Cancer?
Yeah. Cancer is very deep feeling. Very, it's associated with the moon, with emotion. But even a couple weeks ago, let me see if I can look back on the moon calendar and see. Because the moon, like I was saying before, depending on how far away the planets are, the more effect that it has on it. The moon goes into very quick cycles. I mean, it spins anywhere from maybe 3 to 4 days in certain signs. So it's happening quickly, these changes, these cycles, of the moon that's going on. So it could be a possibility at that time that the moon was also in Cancer, or it was in Aries. So we'll see. Hold on, really real quick.
So basically, since you're attributing that to emotions, around this time, people are going to be emotional. Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to say people are going to be emotional, but it's going to be a deeper reflection of emotions, like these deeper realizations, of things. Because we have a different perspective. Things are slow. Like I said, things are slowed down.
So basically, so since you're saying it's slowing down, the way I would kind of look at that is people are going to have a hard time maybe identifying what emotions they're feeling, where it stems from, and they're going to be feeling like they're feeling something, but they can't quite put their finger on exactly what it is, and they're which has caused a lot of miscommunication. Because I know, you know me with the moon, right? I focus right there, the sun and the moon. You know what I mean? So I know with us being in this new moon phase and that energy building back up, it's a psychological, it's a emotional, internal kind of building process, right? So with all this going on that you're talking about, with us being in, what'd you say, Capricorn?
Huh? No, Cancer.
You said Cancer, and you said Cancer has something to do with emotions, right?
Cancer rules over the moon.
Over the moon. So it's like a double whammy, basically. So it's like a double whammy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there's all these emotions, these deep emotions, and Mars, like you're saying, how does that deal with it? Well, Mars deals with passion, a person's passion, these deep desires. What really gets us going? It's like, well, you couple that with Cancer going on right now, so we're really passionate, or we're really, it really depends on the situation and the person, what triggers them, what's going on with their situation. But right now, it's very deeply felt, But like I said before, with Mars being in Aquarius, which is the water bear, it's a different way of perceiving it, because we're feeling things deeper. We're on a different level. We're on a different, time. I don't want to say timeline, but just has a different perspective based off of experience. So that is partly, what's going on. So like I said, with all the other planets, it's just everything is really slowed down, and there's a reason for that. Because you have to take your time, some time before you, I guess I want to use a slingshot. Before you swing off, you still have to take the time to push all the way back, that mechanism. You have to do that carefully. You have to make sure, what really is your, whatever it is that you want to do. That's why it's everything is just different for people. And even in the world. Go ahead.
And I would say the best way, just, to stay grounded and not get too, because it kind of gets a little big when you start talking about astrology, and somebody trying to figure out how to create a straight line in terms of persisting in their goals and persisting in their goal of who they want to be internally and externally. What I would say do, regardless of what's in retrograde or not in retrograde, is basically just make sure you control what you can control, which is what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how you're reacting to what's happening around you. Therefore, you can control how you feel a lot more and better. Because a lot of times, I feel like joy in a nutshell is what everyone wants to experience. And some people are going to get their joy through relationships. Others will get it through some kind of achievement, whether it be in the workplace or artistically or entrepreneur, like if they're an entrepreneur. And basically, life is basically about just keeping yourself in alignment with how you want to live life. And it starts with our mind, right? What we're thinking about ourselves and where we are. And these planets make some of those things that we're thinking and feeling inflamed, or it slows it down. So like when she says something like Mars, and Aries is very outgoing and energetic on a big, just from a general scale. And if it goes into retrograde, we're getting some feedback. that Aries in retrograde, Mars may make that Aries not slow down a little bit. And you just have to be aware of that and know, okay, I'm not myself. And let's say you to go socialize and, being an Aries or whatever that is, you're at your best in a public place socializing. You like to socialize. You like to put yourself out there. And that's like your superpower. Through your energy, you're going to be able to manifest opportunity because you like to put yourself out there and meet people and you're energetic. And let's say if Mars going in retrograde may make you slow down a little bit and you may miss out on opportunities. So basically what I'm saying is don't become a slave to certain defined laws that we may have, like, when this happens up above us, this happens, and you have to say, and you kind of justify it, like, this is in retrograde. Like, for example, when Mercury's in retrograde, a lot of people are like, Mercury's in retrograde, and it's like they give themselves a task to have miscommunication just because Mercury is in retrograde, when the key is, okay, Mercury is in retrograde, let me try harder to make sure I don't have miscommunications by knowing the person in front of me and knowing that, okay, if I over-explain myself around this time, this person in front of me is more prone to feel like I'm not getting straight to the point. So maybe I should be shorter to save ourselves miscommunication. It's just being aware of yourself and those around you. Ultimately, it doesn't, to me, and this doesn't mean everybody should feel this way. To me, it doesn't matter what's going on outside of me. I'm gonna focus on what I can control, and I'm gonna say, okay, yeah, Mercury is in retrograde, but let me try to still communicate. For example, let's say the person in front of me is less likely to want to hear me out. I have two choices. I can say, okay, I'm not going to try to have this communication with this person and build on something that I know needs to be touched on and just let it go. Or, no, I'm going to take the hits and do it anyway. I have an example that I went through something like this not too long ago where I was like, look, I don't care. I'm gonna play the game of taking the let's say the rejection of a person in front of me that's close to me, of course, that actually matters towards my life and building, to sit here and deal with the miscommunication as long as it takes, simply because I have an invested interest in this person in front of me. But, sometimes it doesn't work out. But, yeah, that's all. What were you saying? Basically what I'm saying is you got control.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, because a lot of people like to, as you say, use Mercury retrograde or their signs, as an excuse to, place blame. Like, like you said, Mercury's in retrograde, don't blame me if, you didn't get my text, or, because I didn't feel like doing this, or, because you're a certain sign, you just don't do X, Y, and Z. It's like, that's no excuse. You make those choices. You decide on, how you're going to be. Are you going to let the energies rule you, or are you going to rule the energies around you? And do what you want to do. Get what you need to get done. It's all a choice.
And the best way is to go is to just rule yourself by understanding yourself and those around you. A lot of times we're unconscious to the most subtle nature of those around us, because we only see them as like co-partners to whatever it is we want to do. So what I mean by that is, if you don't know the people around you, you may try to say, you might be in a good mood and want to do something and feel good in yourself on wanting to do that, but you may be a little pushy trying to get another person around you to want to do that with you, because just because you're feeling a kind of way doesn't necessarily mean they are. And that can cause a miscommunication and an argument alone. A lot of times the things that cause arguments in people's lives and miscommunications and drawbacks between relationships, I like to focus on relationships because relationships are a major factor in, like, mankind. Like, we're on a planet with hella people. We're in front of people all the time. Relationships is the most important thing that we should focus on in life, and knowing how to maneuver those things, right? So I can't try to get this person to do something just because I want to do it. I have to take time to know them, and if I want to do something in conjunction with this person next to me, and I'm the one that wants them to partake in something with me, since I want something out of them, I need to think of what their interests are and cater to them in that moment. Because remember, I'm the one that wants the person next to me to partake in something with me. A lot of times people will say, do this with me. And when the person's like, no, they'll be like, you don't ever want to do nothing with me. But it's like, is it that I don't ever want to do nothing with you, or is it you never present anything that we both like? And, you know what I'm saying?
Really, and that's something that we talked about, and that's why I'm laughing, because it's like if people would just honestly convey, you know, how, I don't want to say convey their intentions and how they feel, but a lot of times people are afraid to do that. You know, if somebody would just say, you know, instead of saying, do you want to go to this show, express, I really like this show, and it'd be nice if you would come with me. You know, it's a different perspective. It's all about wording, you know, but then if that person declines, how you feel is really how you feel. That's your responsibility. You know, it's up to you to take that and own that, you know, because a lot of people, like you said, you know, they'll get upset at the other person. It's like, well, why are you getting upset at them for? They gave you know, an answer, and just because it's not the answer you wanted is no reason to get upset. You know, it's like, why would you get upset? Oh, because they didn't choose what you wanted? Okay, well then say that. I'm upset because you didn't want to do what I wanted to do, but people don't do that. Why? Because and it seems childish. It's like, because you didn't want to do what I wanted to do. That's why I'm like, well, that seems like a child. It's like, well, people have childish emotions. They're just not honest.
That's why I was emphasizing on being very tactical when it comes to your needs when someone else is involved. If I'm the one that wants this person in front of me to partake in something with me, it's up to me, since it's me that wants something out of the person in front of me, to cater to the person in front of me. So when I present something that I want to do with them, I should strategically present something that I know they like to do. Again, you know, it's me that wants them to partake with me. So it's only smart to do that if it's called being considerate.
You know, it's like if you know this person doesn't like to do it, it's like, why would you invite them? It's like you're just like, you just want to, you know, it's like, you know, they're gonna say if they don't like it. It's like, you knew this, so it's like, why not take that in consideration and think about, like, what would you guys all enjoy together? What's the common ground? What's the thing that you guys both would enjoy? You know, but
and then you get something out of it. You get what you're looking for, because relationships are really people using each other. And I know that word "use" has a negative overtone to it today, but all relationships are out of what this person does for you. Like, a lot of times when people are in intimate relationships, the thing that they're getting out of it is each other. There's something, like, it's like you love that person, so that feeling of love that you have for that person is triggered by them. That's what you're getting from them. If they weren't there, you wouldn't be expressing that outside yourself. So that's you using them to reflect love outside yourself. So you got to really understand that, you got to really redefine that word use, because when I say be tactical, if you're feeling like you want something, you want to partake with them. You want to use them as a mechanism to pass time and have a good time with you. And I don't mean use in a negative way. Again, I just mean you want them to do something with you, right? They could be minding their own business, happy. But then you come along like, yo, let's do this. And then when they're like, no, you're like, man, you don't ever want to do it. Remember, you're trying to get something from them. So to get what you want out of them, you should present something that they like to do. And then you get that interaction and that energy you're looking for, this union of a journey together through something. So if I want my lady to watch a movie with me, I'm not going to tell her to watch something I know she does not have the appetite for. I want her to watch a movie with me. So I'm going to ask her. I'm going to ask her what she wants to watch, right?
Right.
And then and I know we're not off subject, but these are the things when these planets go into, just to tie it back, when these planets do these different things that everyone likes to talk about all the time, these are the things in your life that cause the drawbacks and the bum out moments and the miscommunications and the setbacks and the depressions. The interaction with yourself and those around you is very simple. If we focus there and we master that shit, life becomes a lot easier. When you're starting to look outside of you and say, okay, I know me and I know them. Like get to know the people you interact with the most, so you know how to make your life easier when all these things happen. You know them. You know how they are at their best. You know how they are at their worst. So you know how to interact with them at certain times if you're going to associate these time periods with when things go into retrograde and all that to help you out. It's key to also, while you know Mercury is in retrograde, okay, now I know Mercury is in retrograde. Let me look around me. Who are the people that I'm around the most? And I have no control over this. People at work, whether it be the supervisor, your husband, your wife, your sister, your mother, your father, right? What are these personalities? How do they react normally? What are the things that normally cause us to have miscommunications? And around this time, let me have self-control. This has a lot to do with ego. And ego is very necessary. It's necessary for survival. It's like, I'm going to live. That's your ego. However, when it comes to relationships, egos are the source of destruction. Because the ego is that thing that makes you say, I know this is going to piss them off, but I'm going to say it anyway. I know that if I go try to talk to this person and express myself, knowing that this is a person that habitually has showed me that they have not the capacity to entertain a real conversation that goes into real deep-rooted issues that we have in a relationship, it's up to you to put your ego aside and save yourself the heartache and drama after the fact of saying, damn, I don't know why I tried to talk to this motherfucker. And just be like, I ain't even going to do it. I'm going to keep it real surface for them to save myself the trauma. I'm going to play the game, the surface game. Because there's certain people in your life, if you realize, you can't get real with them, even when you should. And instead of being mad about that and trying to change them, just play their game to keep your life easier and keep your road moving smooth. Why am I going to try to talk deep shit to a motherfucker I know is going to get defensive every single time? Why would I do that unless my ego is involved? If your ego is involved, you're that person that's always trying to talk to somebody who you know isn't going to receive the message, and you're still trying to talk to them about that shit. And it's like, if it's not your husband or your wife, you really don't need to be trying because you're not building anything long-term with them. It doesn't matter if they get it or not. You can remove yourself from the equation. They can keep the way they think. It doesn't affect you. Stop wasting your time. And that's all I got to say on that for now, you know. So.
Oh, my goodness.
It's been a minute since we've been on here.
Well, yeah, and that's why
right?
It's hilarious because it's like I'm like literally it's like I'm sitting here just like waiting for you to finish your rant. Like,
yeah, it's been a minute.
It's like I miss these. It's like boys on a rant. Okay, I could take a break for a second. I can
it's been a minute since we've been on here. Yeah,
which is cool because you know, I absolutely agree, and that's why it's like this time that's going on right now is really rooted deeply. It is a battle, you know, an inner battle, you know, about understanding these deeper emotions, you know, these relationships, and you know what it means to have them, you know, in their lives. I mean, it's different for everybody. It's up to the individual to understand that. You know, for themselves and, you know, what value it brings to them. And I totally agree with you about going through or, you know, having to speak to people or certain people a certain way. You know, it's the thing that popped in my head when you said it is like what people have said before is like, stay in your lane. And it's like, that's absolutely right. It's like if I'm going in the fast lane, why would I go over to, you know, a slower lane? It's like I'm trying to get to my destination. And it's like I'm not going to slow down. And it's like if I get over it, that means I have to slow down. You know, and it's that understanding about different people's mindsets. And it's not, you know, some people may see it as an ego thing. You know, but
if I may,
it's more so.
I'm sorry. If I may interject for a moment. It's
sorry.
like I lost my train, so don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Because now I just lost mine. I'm like, huh? I was like,
yeah, my
okay.
bad. No, because you were saying, getting in the other lane, and it really goes down to not being lazy. Now follow me here. We tend to I notice if you watch, people tend to want to just live without ever having to focus. And the social media era is really making this worse because we've condensed how we ingest information to 60-second videos and 4-minute clips. Like people get their news in 4-minute clips today. So that means one's capacity to focus has a margin that is way shorter generally. You are what you eat. So if your life is consuming 60-second videos and 4-minute news clips, and you never sit down and focus with a book or anything that's longer, like an hour long, you really don't have the capacity to ever want to put forth any real effort to understand anything, to really understand anything. And that's where you have to balance yourself out today, just with the manifestation of this new social media thing. But how that affects us in our personal life, since we are what we eat, we are what we focus on, meaning your habit unconsciously day to day becomes your habit unconsciously day to day. So if you are ingesting short information, you don't have the focus anymore to really look at the people around you and say, okay, who is this person? You more so just take them for whatever they're really showing you and for the good time, kind of like in aloof, like those spirits that kind of just experience in aloof, and they're always like, damn, at the end of it all, this person completely and utterly fucked me over. How did I let this happen? How did I not see that they were going to do this? It's because you were in la-la land, for lack of a better term. You were just along for the ride. And there's nothing wrong with being along for the ride, but if your goal is to decrease the margin of setbacks emotionally and mentally, it's up to you to have the self-driven will to focus more on those around you and how they're interacting with you, so you can better position yourself not to have any mental and emotional setbacks. So when it comes to relationships, it's, again, you know, not letting your ego get involved and saying, okay, I know this person. I took the time to actually look at them to know, you know, their pet peeves, their timing. Like when they do that, I know this isn't a good time to present them with some shit like I'm about to, because it's going to blow up on me. So if I know this, because I took the time, why in the hell would I do it anyway unless I was like a suppressive kind of forcing my will on people kind of person? My ego was like, I'm going to do it anyway. And then after the fact, you mad because it blew up in your face and this big old drama happened. But it's like, you have to really start taking control of how you feel and knowing you have control over how you feel regarding those around you, because you can just avoid the shit. And there's nothing wrong with it. But in this ego world, people want to force their will and be all in your face. And it's like you got that habit of saying, I'm a punk if I just say I'm going to wait on presenting this, or because your ego is like, I'm going to do this now. No, they ain't going to talk to me that way. It's like when somebody says something crazy, sometimes you should know, like, okay, I ain't even going to entertain it. I feel good. Why would I entertain it? That's a spirit trying to possess you. When somebody come to you with some bullshit, they got a spirit in them that's on some bullshit. So if you allow yourself to come down to their vibration, you have now taken on the virus. They have transmitted the bullshit to you like a virus, a disease. And now you arguing and fussing and fighting with them. They were already in that frequency. They were just looking for somebody to pass to. It's up to you to say, I feel good. This person is trying to pass me a virus that I'm going to label bullshit right now, for lack of a better term, right? A bullshit-ass argumentative virus. Let me just let them say that shit, go on the merry way because I didn't entertain it, and stay in my zone, my vibes, where I'm productive and I feel good, and I won't be depressed and lose my trajectory when it comes to my goals, my focus, my will. And I guess that's why I jumped in on you. And how it comes. Sorry. I apologize.
Oh no, I get the feeling that there's some other things going on that.
No, not at all. What happens with me is I tend to like kind of feel what people are going through. You know, like I posted a post the other day, right? It was basically a post about how this just came out of the blue. How it was called Spiritual Vagina Snatchers, right? That was the title.
Dude, I can't. What
okay.
the heck? I don't like. What is it with people and like name and stuff? Like, is it just getting like more and more ridiculous?
No. You gotta hear me out though. It makes sense. And I had to be real about it because you have, you know, in the conscious communities or any community, there are individuals that
and this is exactly why, like, there's and this is exactly okay. Just hold on a second. I'm gonna stop you.
What's up?
Because I already know where it's going because it's something that we've talked about before, and I'm gonna stop you. And I'm gonna say this. This is exactly why I said there's something else going on. That, you know, you're bringing this up is linked to something else, and this is what it's linked to. And it's linked to, like you said, these spiritual dudes posing as something just to get, you know, one thing. It's the same thing. We've talked about this before. And, you know, it's linked to, you know, what you were saying about certain people's egos and things like that. And I know, from experience speaking with you, it bothers you, you know, because you are a big brother. No, because you are a big brother.
The reason why I brought it up is because because when you kind of catch the vibes of where I'm channeling my information from, it makes it seem like in my personal space that like something's going on, but nothing is. I'm kind of just an autopilot.
No,
like,
I didn't.
If
okay,
I wasn't,
listen, like I said, it's not.
So when I brought up the writing that post of the
linked.
spiritual vagina snatchers was because around that time when I wrote that post explaining how people assimilate into certain places of consciousness, even like in the business place. You have people like Bernie Madoff. He was a good guy. People trusted him with their money, but he just assimilated in and was really stealing people's money, right? But after I made that post, I started seeing a whole bunch of posts on my timeline of women actually saying and outing people that you know, like people who had did that to them. And I was like, that's why I wrote that thing, you know, because Sarah was even like, what the hell, when she saw the title. But normally I'm just like ahead of the feeling. So that's why I kind of am where I'm at right now, because I kind of feel the collective space, and then I speak from where the collective space is. But it ties back to, you know, astrology and all that ultimately anyway, because things happen. You know, when these things go into retrograde, people down here, you can marginalize the common difficulties that individuals go through to about 5. And they all have something to do with relationships and relationships with themselves internally. So it's a good point when it comes to how to fix yourself to a certain trajectory under things going in retrograde, because knowing it starts with you and where you focus and the choices you make as an individual is key. Because a lot of times people want a ritual, right? You see it all the time. I like giving rituals. Let's set something on fire and burn it, or burn something, or draw something. But it's like, if you continue to do the same old shit in your actual life, you're going to have, it doesn't matter what ritual you do. The ritual, the ultimate ritual, is controlling yourself and knowing those around you. Therefore, you can maneuver right. That's the ultimate ritual. And that's a day-to-day thing. That's every day. You never take a break from that one. Knowing who's around you and when to interact with certain energies is the ultimate ritual. Where I was going with that. Because I know Angelica was feeling like I was off task, y'all. She tried to hit me with the mama talk. Wait. Let me stop you here, honey. Wait.
No, it wasn't even about the mama talk. It was, I knew exactly where it was going. He said exactly what I said. And it was like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Well, you brought me there when you was like I feel something else going on, but it's like, yeah, I'm very empathic.
Because it's like
so
okay. I was like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna.
I'll be feeling what's going on and speaking from it, but it's never, you know how it go. But anyways.
What's up?
Oh, you want to let Bonnie in? Let's let Bonnie in.
Sure.
See if Bonnie's there. Is that Bonnie? Is Bonnie?
She got a question? Is somebody press number 1? El numero uno? Hello?
Bonnie.
Yeah, can you hear me?
What's up, Bonnie?
Hey, how are you guys? Okay, tired.
Good, Bonnie. How you doing? What's
I'm
been
good.
going on with you?
Busy. Kind of, I don't know, trying to figure some stuff out. I was listening to what you guys were saying about, the question that I had asked about all these different planets supposedly in retrograde, and there's like a solar eclipse or something, and all this other craziness that's been happening the past couple of weeks, and my birthday fell like right smack in the middle of that. And I've literally been all over, like I told you, like a ping pong ball all over the freaking place. It's driving me crazy.
How'd the birthday go?
My birthday day was pretty good. A couple days leading up to that, I got really sick, and I've actually been kind of feeling sick for like the past week, which is almost like I don't know, like this weird, like that's why I asked about the question that I did, because it was 3 days before my birthday, and my birthday was on Sunday, and this is now 5 days ago, and I'm just now, it's funny because we're hitting the new moon again, and I definitely, like, I check my calendar, I'm going, there's got to be a new moon coming, because my emotions, and I know we're supposed to control this stuff, but I can feel like the energy is pulling me in different directions the closer we get to, like, the new moon, and then it'll start to, like, wane off a little bit, and then we get closer to the full moon, and my energy start bouncing all over the place again. It's like, whoa. So I'm trying to get better at recognizing, like, or trying to recognize anyways what's going on and keep myself in check. My emotions, my reactions and responses to other people, and, not projecting what I'm feeling about my personal stuff going on onto other people, because, it's just, it's kind of some of the stuff you guys were talking about, it's just been really extra crazy these past couple of weeks, and that's why I said I saw something about blah, blah, blah. I wonder if that has anything to do with just the way I've been feeling, not blaming my actions on any of that, because, again, we're in charge of ourselves, but just the way, like, my thoughts and my emotions have kind of been on this, like, roller coaster. It's been insane. Part of that's because I just turned 40, and I think I was freaking out a little bit. But got over that.
Don't they say 40? Isn't 40 the new 20 or something like that? Isn't that what they say?
I don't know.
Yeah, so don't worry about that.
I'm not. No, I think it was kind of like, it was one of those, like, reflection things. It was like, okay, this is not quite where I expected to be. What do I want to change so that in 5 years I'm not saying the same thing? That kind of stuff.
Never. Okay, let's talk about thought, right? Thought is a program. Start thinking of thought, like your thought process, like do you have a Mac or a PC?
I have a PC.
Okay, so Windows, right?
Right.
So let's say you're a PC, and your operating system is Windows. But in your case, your operating system is Windows, but it's your thought process. So your thought process is the things and let's talk about your process. That's the operating system running on you, the PC that is Bonnie. And if you ever find yourself going into a space where you're in you're running your operating system, and you're starting to look at your life like, damn, I'm this whatever the fuck, 40, and I thought I would be such and such. Is that not like a setback in your operating system running smoothly?
No, it's not. It's right. It's over there. Sorry.
That's like a setback because.
Right.
You're
exactly,
like,
and that's why I said we talked about this before, like reining myself back in and going, okay, that's not helpful. It's not productive. It's not going to get me anywhere.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, these thought processes are not doing me any good. But why am I having them? Kind of thing. So trying to analyze that a little bit.
So immediately when that happens, so you don't get pulled too far, because remember, let's talk about physics and momentum, right? Once that starts happening, you get sucked into it. It starts off with, damn, I thought I wouldn't be here at 40. Then it may go, oh, my life. Oh, but because that happened, and that's why I didn't do what I thought I would have did thus far. Now I'm here. And then it goes to the person that triggered all the things that led you here. Because if that person didn't do that, then I would have been this, and I wouldn't be where and it goes into this reverse system that turns into something like, you should look at it like a virus that takes
like
over your operating system. Yeah, your operating system, which is your mind, that puts you in a depression. And let's look at it, and then let's tie metaphysics to this, right? Then it puts you in a new vibrational state.
Right.
And you're a magnet, you're a magnet, right? So if you let that train of thought, that virus, overcome your operating system, and then you get sucked into that vortex, like you called it, then you now realign yourself with things that, because your vibration and you're magnetizing the things that are of your mind, and, fear is a very strong, thing. It's like, in like sorrow and pain, like that's something that goes out real strong. So that's why it's easy. That's why that's all you see on this planet, because it's easy for people to hate and feel fear and stuff. It's hard for them to love. So it's harder to access love. It's easy to access fear on earth. It's harder to access love, right? So you don't want that. When that thing takes you over, it's imperative that you immediately change the narrative and say, okay, I'm 40, I'm here, but and then you have to really see the self-interest in how, if you need to reassociate 40. Like, what blessings have you had thus far? See, we tend to focus on
and see, that's what
the negative.
You're right. And that's exactly, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's exactly what I've been kind of doing. That's why I said I feel like a ping pong ball, because it's like, I don't know what triggers it, if it's something that happens or if something's going on or what exactly it is. I'm still trying to work on that. But it'll start, the thought process will start, and sometimes I catch it immediately. Sometimes it'll come out verbally, like to myself, and I'm like, shit, okay, nope, we gotta go back. This is not what we're supposed to be doing here. Like, that's because like I said, I've talked very open and honestly with you guys before about my thought patterns and my history in the past and what I've been working on, and just like you said, reprogramming, so that when that starts, like you said, instead of saying, okay, what haven't I gotten done, it's like, well, damn, I've had 4 kids. I was told I wasn't supposed to have any. I've done this. I've defeated the odds and all these different things that you're not supposed to be able to do. And, and that's why I am where I am, because I was busy doing all of these other things that you're not supposed to be able to do. Not because I got sick or because this happened or that happened, but because I was busy doing shit to show other people that this shit can actually be done, and or showing myself, whatever. You know what I mean? Like trying to retrain.
And a good way to reaffirm it all, because it's all about reaffirming it all, because if the mind, after a while, the mantra doesn't work as much because it becomes routine. It's like tying your shoe. After a while, you didn't have to think about it. So you got to continue to psych your own self out to keep generating optimism. You have to be creative. So, to reaffirm that, you need to really redefine what success is. See, your idea of, or most people's idea, to not focus on you, Bonnie, because, this is a general issue. We all struggle with this. It's not just you, right? To redefine.
Oh, no, that's okay. I have no problem being a guinea pig.
We have to redefine what we perceive, blessings are. See, a lot of people take for granted their blessings, therefore they never get any new blessings. If you take for granted the things that have been given to you because you have grandiose, or you're comparing your life to, celebrities or neighbors or friend or family members, you're not going to be giving any more blessings, because you don't even, the individual doesn't even, they're not appreciating the blessings they have right in front of them. And, let's just think about, having children is a blessing.
Right.
That's a blessing. There's people in countries that can only have a limit to how many children they have. They wish they could have more than one. There's people in countries that want to have kids but can't because they are too impoverished to be able to sustain their children.
Right, and I know people who have had kids and then unfortunately lost them. So, it's all about perspective. I completely agree with that.
Exactly. So when you are in that state, look around you and see all that you have instead of all that you don't have. all that you've accomplished, and don't take for granted and downgrade being a mother. Being a mother is a commendable thing. That's a successful thing, especially if your kids make you proud every day. That's a testament to you. And when we take them little things for granted, only, it's not a surprise that we can begin to take ourselves for granted regarding what we've done and where we're at. And that doesn't set us up to move anywhere farther than where we are. So you have to continue to make sure you solidify to yourself, especially in a world where nobody's going to tell you how good you've done every day. People are reluctant to tell you how much you impact them, whether they're forgetful or the ego's involved and all that kind of stuff. So you got to tell yourself.
Right.
Angelica.
I agree.
Yep.
Angelica.
What's up?
What do you have to say? What do you think about that? About Bonnie's situation of feeling.
I think, No. Well, I think that Bonnie's doing a great job, actually. And the fact that she catches herself and sees it is part of that. So that's an achievement in itself. I mean, because most people, they can't even catch themselves, when they start to, as you say, go into that vortex or fall, and don't realize it. But you're starting to see that and see your own patterns, which is something that Boy and I talked about before. And that's part of, this energy. That's why it's important for us to slow down, sometimes and ask those questions, to ourselves. Like Bonnie was saying, it's like, why do I feel this way? Why am I going through this experience again? It's up to us to ask ourselves those questions and be honest. That's what gives us growth. And,
and I heard somewhere, too, or read in probably multiple places, you guys have probably even talked to it about it before, but, like, the fact that I keep going through the same types of, like, thought patterns and scenarios and different situations means I still have something to learn. Like, there's something, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, like, but there's something I missed that is going to help me move forward at some point.
Yeah.
I have to keep paying attention and going, okay, there's a reason. And that's why I said I don't like to overanalyze, but at the same time, it's like, I've got to learn from this or I'm not. Like, nobody's going to smack me in the face with the answer. Like, I've got to learn this on my own. And, of course, like, you guys help and, talking to other people helps and whatnot. But, like, just saying, okay, why am I repeating similar scenarios? Why am I repeating similar thought patterns? A lot of it has to do with shit that I was taught. A lot of it was just, how I grew up. A lot of it was, I'm not blaming anybody, but it's like programming. Like Boy was saying, it's like you learn this stuff from external influences, external influences, and taking that and going, okay, all of that, everything I was taught about that was wrong. Or at least wrong for me, and that doesn't work for me, and I'm not going to let it work for me anymore. And I'm gonna change when XYZ starts to happen. I need to do, A, B, C. I see, buddy. I see. I'm on the phone. You can scoop that up and put it in the fire pit. Okay. Thank you. That'll be really helpful. I've been doing EFT tapping, and the one thing he repeats with Brad Yates, I really like him. And the one thing that he always talks about is how, like, you're not doing these things because you're bad or stupid. It's because of old programming. And that's, honestly, it's the truth, whether it's programmed yourself or something else you learned from somebody else, watching somebody else, hearing, whatever it was, it's all programming. Like Boy was saying about the operating system, and you need to hijack it, and or upgrade it or something, and go, okay, this version isn't working for me anymore. We're gonna go with that version, and keep updating it as often as you have to. Like
the reduced
and I think that's why I promote it so much. Like outside. Like my social media is written.
The reduced expression, to put it in a nutshell, like a statement, is just to bypass old thoughts with new perspective.
Okay.
You see, like that's just the easiest way to look at it. Like a lot of times the reason why we continue the same thoughts is because we continue the same thoughts. It's that simple.
Right.
Because we're trying to think the same way, but like throw in some new words. But it's like you have to change the perspective. You have to bypass the old perspective with the new perspective. It's really like sideloading a new program or something. Like you have to backdoor your old perspective by changing your perspective and outlook on everything. Like when you start to see something that normally would give you a negative feeling, immediately try to associate it with a good feeling. That's right. How you can start.
I've been also removing myself from situations like prime example, like my husband, we're fighting over not fighting really, but fighting over garage space right now, and I'm trying to get rid of stuff to give away. And he builds audio box, sub boxes. So he cuts wood and stuff. There's sawdust flies everywhere. Okay, that's normal for a garage. When you've got stuff all in the garage that you're trying to sort through, though, it gets really agitating. So it's funny because I'm sitting here listening to you guys, and I'm raking rocks out of the yard, and I fished one out of the baby's throat, and I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, okay, here, take him in the house because he's not ready to be out here right now. And I hear the saw, and I instantly started to get pissed off. And I'm like, good job. Keep doing it. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I immediately get irritated. Like I'm already irritated. I'm sitting down. I'm trying to take a break because the baby scared the crap out of me because he choked on this dang rock. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not even going to walk over there. I'm not even going to investigate. I'm not going to do anything because I know I'm already pissed off. And if I go over there, I'm gonna overreact. Like.
So you're mad that he has a saw in the garage?
No. What's happening is that I have stuff. So I have had baby stuff stored in the garage to give away. And right before I got feeling sick, like last week, I went in and spent 2-3 days cleaning out the garage. Well, it rained, so I had to put some stuff that I was getting rid of back in the garage, and it wasn't covered. And I heard this saw, and I'm going, my first instant thought is, okay, this shit's going to be covered in sawdust again. And that's what I said. Like, you're right. It sounds stupid because it's a garage, and that's where you do this kind of thing. I see. Yeah, don't pick them apart. That's not nice. So I rein myself back in, and I think realistically, and again, okay, no, I'm on the phone. Shh. And go, okay, why am I actually mad right now? And start to analyze that a little bit and go, okay, well, I was really frustrated. Would this have bothered me that bad had I not been already frustrated?
Hey,
probably not.
It's control. Let's be honest with it. It's like he didn't do what you said.
Oh yeah, because we've had this discussion before. Like, can you do this over here until this stuff is taken care of, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why. Only reason why I'm telling you is because if you look at it truly and unbiasedly, it's like an ego thing, and it's like, why let somebody not doing what you say affect you? Just say, never mind, I'll figure something else out, and I'll move it. I'll do something somewhere else. And the more and more you start to go around people that aren't doing what you when they're used to you trying to change their path, and the more and more you start to just create paths that don't involve them, they then start to notice that, and then all of a sudden want to play along, or now they want to actually give you what it was you always wanted.
Right, you're exactly right about that. I have witnessed that firsthand.
Of him,
which is why I said I sat here and I was just like, okay, what can I do about it?
Is the reason why you find yourself mad. You making yourself mad. He's just there as the cause outside of you. But ultimately, if you really look at it, if you say, why am I mad? Like, I do this all the time. Why am I feeling this kind of way? Is it them, or is it because they're not doing something that I asked them to do? It's not them.
Right.
They're just, I asked them to do something. So I'm mad because I'm not getting what I want. That's my ego. That's me wanting to control something, and when I can't, now I'm mad.
And I think part of it though is a little bit just in this situation, and this is going to sound like an excuse, but this is like one of those respect things. Like, you watch me in the 95, 100-degree heat clean all this stuff, and you could have done that outside in the driveway. Like, so now I'm going to have to do it again. And that's what got me mad. Because now I know I'm going to have to go through this crap and clean the shit all over again, huh?
I would have put it just if I knew, like, somebody, like, and I'm going to just use that situation as an example to show you how, because ultimately, if something outside of you, like, you could be in a good mood, you could have been in a good mood, and then you hear the song, and then all of a sudden you're in a bad mood. And that means you have something that's mind control. You have allowed something to have mind control over you and your feelings and your emotions. You have no control over yourself. Something outside of you can make you change your state of being instantly. And that to me, I don't like that feeling. I don't like that.
No, I don't like it either.
That somebody can do something, and now I can be in a good mood, and someone can do something outside of me, and now I don't feel good. So what I would have did, if I know the person is going to be stubborn, I would just...
I had no idea. This just sort of happened.
Or if I would have saw a saw, and I know that this saw is used from time to time, right? And I factor in the weather or whatever, right? I'm not going to put my shit near the saw, because I don't want the series of events to unfold to where now I can say they're doing something near something I put there, like I'm supposed to expect them to consider or to even be thoughtful of my stuff being next to it. Why don't I just remove them from the equation?
It's funny you say that. But sawdust flies everywhere. Like, I'm talking front of the garage, his corner, whatever you want to work with, all the way to the opposite corner of the garage, and I'm going, oh, like you said. I mean, I tried to. I spent a lot of time trying to prevent situations that are going to potentially, like thinking about, like you said, what somebody else is potentially going to do. Is that going to piss me off? So I'm going to do everything I can in my power to prevent that from happening, because I don't feel like being mad. Sometimes it feels like a lot of energy, like a lot of extra energy. I'm sorry, what?
What did you have? If you would have put the stuff in bags, it wouldn't have mattered if sawdust was on it or not. It was on the outside.
Yeah, it's in bags. It's just like I said. It's an irritation thing. It sounds so stupid. Like I said, I was already irritated.
It's like a controlling thing that comes up in us where we just feel like being irritated about some shit because it's like, how could they? They saw I put that shit
that's
there. Exactly what
it is. Yeah, and that's why I said I sat right here
and Bonnie,
and I waited until he was done. I didn't even walk in there.
Yeah, because that's more of a personal problem than it is his problem. That's your personal problem.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And that's why I said this is all part. This is why. But normally I would have gotten up and I would have walked over to the garage and said, what the heck are you doing? You know there's stuff in it, blah, 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 and started this whole stupid thing. And it would have solved nothing. And we would have both been mad. Like you were talking about the possession and passing it on to somebody else, which is why I said that was perfect timing, because I literally just sat here and didn't say anything. And then I was calm in about 3 minutes. I just distracted my thoughts. I was like, okay, there's literally nothing I can do about it but clean it up, get it out of there so it doesn't happen again, just like you said. Because it's not worth being angry about, even for 3 minutes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I see the fire, buddy. I see it.
Well, Bonnie,
it was
I
big.
just want to let you know. Bonnie, I just want to let you know. I see your activity and stuff, and you seem like you're in a good space to me, and you're doing very well, and you're doing good. I like your designs.
Thank you. I appreciate
doing that.
That's
pretty cool. And I feel like you're doing pretty good. Especially the way you're intellectualizing how you're dealing with certain things. I feel like you're moving in a pretty good. I remember when you first called in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was back like.
We'll find my baby gun.
And you come a long way just in perspective from men, you know?
I appreciate that. I think, like I was saying, a lot of my social media, too, is, like, reminders to myself, like almost like positive affirmations, like, okay, yeah, this fits, and I think somebody else could get good use out of this. I'm going to post this. But not just posting stuff just to post it, but, like, taking it to heart, thinking about what it is, and then, you know, saying, okay, well, that touched me, that made me think, so I'm going to pass, you know, try to be helpful and pass that on to anybody else who might see it and might need it and might resonate with it. And it helps me by helping other people. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's what not my pathway, but like my, not an outlet. I'm trying to think of the right word here. That's the way I'm, you know, kind of, I'm struggling here, looking for the right word. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, kind of.
Like, yeah, something like that.
I mean, kind of, but it's like my I guess pathway is a good word.
Part of your method. How about that? Part of your method.
Yeah, I was going to say method of operation or whatever, but yeah. That's just my method of reaffirming these thoughts and, like you said, changing them, because if you say the same thing over and over again, you start to ignore it. Sometimes you will adopt it, sometimes you start to ignore it. And this, by changing it up but having a positive overtone, it makes me think about things in a different way constantly. Like I'm constantly thinking of these different positive messages and how I can be using them for myself. To jolt myself out of those negative thought patterns, basically, you know what I mean, and be grateful and have, you know, gratitude for everything I do have, and only looking at things from different perspectives, like we were talking about, because things could be so much worse. They really could.
How do people get your shirts if they want a shirt?
I finally managed to get my Shopify up and running. I have a Shopify. I have a website.
I was like, what's that one shirt I like you had?
Which,
one shirt I saw, I was like, I'm positive I'm positive as fuck or something like that. What was it?
Optimistic as fuck, yeah.
Yeah, man, I was like, I'd rock that shit. You know, that was a pretty cool, like, you know, optimism is the program to have running in your mind. It has nothing to do with being in denial. It's the mind needs to have a program that helps it move forward more than it moves backwards. A pessimist doesn't move too much. Their outlook is too downer-like to get them to move. So they're like, I want to go out and do something. No, I never have a good time. So they keep their ass in the house. They don't meet people. They don't expand. An optimist, so that's why you have to look at it. It's funny, I wrote something earlier that had something about optimism in it, and I never posted it. But that, yeah, and I was just like, I'll rock those shirts. So you have a store now?
Yeah, I do. It's called Positivity.com, so it kind of play on words. Shopify store. If you want one, I think the one that I have listed right now is a women's tank top. It's all glittery. But if you can,
I don't want that. I'm straight.
I can. Well, yeah. I can do it up however you want, or I can do a new design and post it up. We can do it however. I really got that was one of the things I was talking about somebody was talking to me about taking my business online, and this whole thing with my website, the company I had hired was a mess, and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. So I threw myself into it, and I was trying to learn it all, and I was getting so overwhelmed, and nothing was working, and on top of that, it was like I was neglecting to do other things because I was spending so much time doing that, and I'm like, is this really worth it? And one day I was just literally laying on the couch, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to look and see what this has to offer, and I'm going to try messing around with this, and stuff just started working. And I'm like, oh my, like, thank you, because it was actually, I think it was either on my birthday or the day after, because a good friend of mine came over, and we did a tarot reading. And I just happened to say, what the hell, I'm going to try this again. And I was like elated. I was up till like 2:30 in the morning just adding stuff to my store because I finally got it to work properly. And, you know, super, super excited about that. And So yeah, however you want me to do it up, I can do, and I can either, like I said, throw it up in the store, or we can just talk through DM or whatever you want to do. Works for me, because it all ends up going through PayPal anyways. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well,
that would definitely be awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to support. That, I mean, it was cool. I liked it.
Thank you.
And before we we transition and stuff like that, I don't know if you caught the beginning. We're gonna this new wave of Take the Night. I'm on here tonight with Angelica, but moving forward, Angelica is gonna be basically, running the show, and she'll have people on with her, different people and stuff like that. So that's how it's going.
So wait, are you not going to be on it? See, I can be honest with you. I kind of chuckled at that because I was like, "There's no way he's going to sit there and be quiet." Sorry, I had to say. I'm being totally honest. I was like, how is he gonna do that? But no, hey, you guys,
I'm not gonna.
Your format, that's awesome. I'm excited for her.
I'm definitely not gonna call in. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just listen on the phone and stuff.
Okay.
But on some shows I'll be on though. But yeah, that's the new thing. Because people were getting on me because I've been doing other things, and I haven't. People were getting on me where's Take the Night, the show, and all that. And, I presented the idea to Angelica, and she was down. Plus, I always figured Angelica would be, I have a lot of faith in Angelica. I feel like she could do a lot. So I like the fact that she wanted to take on the task of, doing it and stuff like that. So
that's awesome. Congratulations. And especially because I did hear her say, I never thought I'd be on, on a podcast, let alone running one. So it is crazy sometimes with the universe, that's with and for us, because, like I said, me for sure, I'm for that for sure. It was great talking to you. I do have one quick question for Angelica, because it was kind of going back to my original question. With this, so my birthday being right smack in the middle of all those planets and all of those other things, would that affect a person like me? Would I feel that more, is I guess a better way to phrase that, than, say, somebody who's born in October or something, or whenever? Would that explain being more intense, or I'm just curious?
Well, yes, because when things, I think Boyd even asked me this question before, and it has to do, with certain energies. And where things are positioned in your astrology, your birthday is your sun sign, so that's you're basically your outward, appearance, things on the outside, and things of that nature. Whereas your moon sign is your emotions, how that goes. And so being in the sun sign, what was it, Cancer? Are we still in Cancer?
Yeah, I'm a Cancer, ruled by the moon, so I'm already an emotional
Yeah. So so outwardly, it's like you wear your emotions on your sleeve. You show it, you express it. It's not hard to not know how you're feeling, and it's hard for you to hide it. With that being said, it's on two fronts, because it's like you have it in the sun. The sun, I believe, now is in Cancer. It transits into Cancer. I think I have to double check that, but definitely right now the new moon is in Cancer, which is, like I said, getting deeper into emotions. Understanding them on a different level, not just outwardly, but inwardly, where they stem from. And that's why it's like I said earlier, it's great that you're analyzing it. You're asking yourself these questions, because most people would just stop on the surface, do something else to make themselves feel better, to distract themselves, rather than, change the cycle and figure out, I don't like this feeling. I don't like how, this continues and stop and change, like, okay, I'm going to try to do this differently and see what happens, you know, just to see what happens, because you don't want to experience those things over and over again, because you already know what it's going to result in. You know,
right.
as I said earlier, you know, it's about stepping out of your comfort zone. You know, it's like sometimes you got to do that. You got to just go with it and see what happens. It's like, what the heck do you have to lose? It's like you gain experience regardless. You know, but
right, and that's kind of funny you said that, because that's exactly what I was doing with the store and the website, because I got to a point where I was like, the hell with this. I'm going to go back to posting on social media and taking orders via DM, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, I hated that. Like, that's the whole reason I tried to get a website in the first place, was because that was getting too overwhelming. It's like, okay, let me take a break here, figure out why this is upsetting me, da-da-da-da, and then move forward. So in a literal sense, like you were saying, you know, because I used to use distraction techniques all the time. Like, I don't feel good, okay, I'm going to scrub the hell out of my house. You know, this is making me mad, I'm going to go do this. And rather than trying to figure out why I was getting upset, it was, well, I'm upset because so-and-so did blah, 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 or because this happened, or because that happened. And at that point, I didn't understand as well as I should have how much, like, I was trying to control my emotions with external things, like we were just talking about. And now I'm better able to say, okay, I'm going to distract myself. While I'm distracting myself, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Think about, okay, why is this, like, remove myself from the situation, which is a good thing, and then think about it at the same time, or go back and think about it a little bit later when I'm, you know, kind of out of the angry headspace or upset or whatever it is. And then, like you said, I don't want to keep repeating the same mistakes. I don't want to keep feeling that way. You know, and the only explanation I have for that currently is, like I said before, that there's something else I need to learn. Like, I haven't learned everything I was supposed to about a certain situation, a feeling, whatever it is, and I'm just going to keep trying to figure it out. So.
Yeah, and that's part of it. You know, you dig deeper into the layers. You know, it's all a part of, you know, as Boyd said, you know, bypassing. It's like, okay, you learn one thing. It's like, okay, I know this, so I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to go around it. And then you learn something else, you know, and it's like, okay, well, I learned this, so I got to bypass this now. So it's all just, you know, part of it.
Okay.
But
well, I appreciate you explaining all that, because, like, I definitely was feeling some kind of way. Like, I couldn't explain it. Like, I told you guys before, ping pong ball, like, all over the place. I was super excited and doing all kinds of stuff at once, and then the next minute I'm pissed off, and I'm like, why am I so upset? And then I'm like, I'm crying. I'm like, am I pregnant? Like, I seriously considered taking a pregnancy test at one point. I'm like, something is wrong here. Like, this is really not right. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy, you know, and it's with all, and to answer, you know, the rest of your question, you know, before, you know, you leave, because I know, you know, we got stuff to do, you got stuff to do as well.
That's right.
Regarding you know, regarding the eclipses, you know, it's like eclipses is basically a magnification, or one thing in front of the other. You know, so I think we're going to do, what is it, a partial or a full lunar eclipse. I think there's going to be 3 of them that's going to be happening this summer, which is very interesting. 3 is a very, you know, powerful number.
Right. I was reading about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, I think there's one coming up in July. I'm not really sure when. See, and that's another thing, too. It's like, I know of these things, but it's like, when it gets closer to the time for it to happen, it's like something just happens, just like Boyd. You know, Boyd naturally knows when stuff is going on. And we talk about, it's like, it's interesting that you say that, because, you know, this is happening, and, you know, and the shifts in different signs and the moons and this, and he's like, I already knew that. It's like, yeah. So it's very interesting, like how we perceive things differently, but we're still like on the same wavelength. You know, it's all about just our different knowledge of things and what we're drawn to, but we're all triggered in different ways. You know, so for me, it's like I know it's coming up, but I don't know exactly what sign it's going to be in or what time, but I know it's going to be soon. I know that much. But that's like, you know, part of the reason, you know, why I'm going to be doing like the goddess guidance like during the new and like the full moons is, you know, to keep myself also updated on these things. Because I mark it on there, you know, when things are going on or when different planets transition into different signs and things of that nature. So I know it's coming up this month. I know that for sure. So I'll double check and it'll be updated. So
I'm actually going to tell my friend Lauren to tune in because she's actually been trying to, she's got a lot of stuff going on, but she's been trying to do like a moon circle group on Facebook, and then, you know, to talk about how the, you know, with the cycle of the moon and different things, and so I think she'd really enjoy listening to your show, and chiming in whenever she has, you know, something to say about it. But I think it's funny how you guys and her were all kind of drawn into my life all within a few months of each other. So I'm excited to hear.
We appreciate it. It's all awesome, and that's why it's like Boyd both and I like kind of knew that when we voiced something, like a topic would come, and it would come like from a certain pool of people that we know, you know, have participated, have voiced interest, and you know what's going on with the show, and you know, we appreciate everyone who participates, and it's like I'm so appreciative of you constantly, you know, showing up. It's great. It's like, how can you? It's like, you know, it's like, you know, somebody's going to be there to show their support. It's just like a warm hug. Like, yes.
Oh.
Like, I know my people are here. You know, they're going to cheer me on. We're going to have a good time regardless. You know, and
no, I know what you
it's
mean.
like I appreciate it. I know I appreciate it. I don't know about Boyd.
Come on.
No, I know. Hey, no, I just think it's funny because I didn't listen for a couple of weeks, and then I was like, because just kids and timing, and I would go, oh crap, it's 11 o'clock already, and at one point I was one of the people who messaged Boyd. I'm like, are you guys still doing the show? Because I called in on a Friday or a Monday or something, and it was like, the show schedule, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, And I think I did it twice or something, and then I finally asked him, I was like, are you guys still doing the show? Because I know I missed some, but, yeah, so one of those people is me.
You see, what happened was I sensed that there was like a little, like it was just time for us to just take a break. And you see, around that time, you weren't even listening to the show no more. You see what I'm saying?
That's
it was
funny.
The time,
yeah.
And then
no,
I
know what you mean.
Happened. So I was just like, yeah, we were talking. I just wasn't feeling the energy, and I was like, and then like while we were talking about doing the show, Angelica and I would just talk for like 2 hours. So it's just like it'd be Friday already, and we're talking for 2 hours. So it's like instead of talking for 2 more hours, let's just call this "Take the Night" between you and I, you know, and just not do the show. So you know, that's how it's been. Yeah, we talk. I call everybody that I call everybody on Fridays, and I kind of just see where they're at, and stuff like that, and you know, we talk, and no, it's always good having you come in, Bonnie. It's always good.
I enjoyed listening to you. I'm glad I caught your I'm glad you messaged me, and then I caught your post because I almost didn't catch it in time. So I'm glad everything worked out. It was nice. So
yeah, if no one left a comment on any of the platforms, I would have just continued to do what I've been doing on Friday nights, staying in, but I was like, let's see. If somebody wants us to come on, then we'll be on. So hey.
Mhm.
I'm interested to be a listener moving forward. I'll be listening right along with you, Bonnie, moving forward in
cool.
some of the shows. Yeah.
All right.
See what's going on.
Yeah, you guys finish up and do it.
It's Boyd with the question. Boyd, what's your question?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right?
You can change up his phone number and be like, I said I wasn't going to call again. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. And then I'll be like, okay, it's time to put Boyd on mute. Okay, hold on, Boyd. Hold on. Mute. 1 second. You just need to cool down for a second. Just a second.
For sure. Whatever.
Nah. It's all out of fun. We joke, we kids out of love. Because we appreciate you and your wisdom and all that you have to say. I know I do. And if I haven't said it now, you heard it.
I wouldn't call in and would have been pestering you if I didn't.
That's all good.
But, all right, I'll let y'all go and do what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna go make sure that the fire pit is under control. Cause yeah,
we're getting off on time.
That's why he was cutting wood. That's why he was cutting wood, and that's why I said I wasn't expecting it because he doesn't have a truck to build a box for right now. It's smashed to bits. So I definitely wasn't expecting any wood to be cut anytime soon.
Well, it's a nice, relaxing bonfire with the family. If you got the supplies, make some s'mores. We did that. Yeah, the first one we built. Yeah, we did that for 4th of July for the very first little fire that we built.
And don't ever buy the super jumbo marshmallows. Just don't. Not for s'mores. No, it's a disaster. It's a disaster.
I bet.
It was horrible. They were the marshmallows themselves. What we salvaged was delicious, but trying to make s'mores with little kids with these jumbo marshmallows was like dangerous. It was bad.
Oh man, I can only imagine.
It was crazy. It was comical. That's for sure. So. But, okay, for real, I'm gonna let you guys go and make sure that the good news is that I built a fire pit between our swimming pool and the pond, so there's lots of water available. God forbid he do something.
That's awesome, though. That's so cool.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, buddy, we appreciate you and enjoy the fire, and as always, thank you for participating and sharing.
Of course. And
make sure you let me know how I can get one of those shirts, Bonnie.
Yeah, like I said, I just need to know color, size, and stuff, so you can just DM me, and we can go from there.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll get around
We'll
to it.
figure that out. All right, sounds good.
Asking Helica, I'm a little
soon.
slow when it comes to getting around and doing certain things. Like, it may take
Did
me
I
a little
harass
time.
You?
And Helica will send me a link for something, and I'll watch it, and she'll be like, you just now watching that? Like,
it took like 2 weeks. 2 weeks almost.
I'm bad for saving things to watch later and then being like, oh, crap. Wait, didn't I just save that a month ago? See, I knew I did. I'm bad for that.
Yeah, I got some
Definitely.
stuff sent to me to watch, and I have yet to watch it. It's been like a week, and it's in my phone. But I like to save stuff for when I'm bored. Like when I'm bored and I'm in one of those spaces where I don't have anything that's easily catching my attention, that's when I go to the links people send me and the things I have to do. Because then I don't find myself, like, feeling bored and stagnant and stuff like that. So I kind of have a little method.
It's funny you say that because my quote-unquote boredom time is at, like, 2 in the morning when Jameson won't go the heck to sleep. And I'm like, okay. Trying to go to sleep, but I need to stay awake, so it's kind of the opposite for me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, you are grounded from electronics for a long time. I don't know. Call Google and ask them how much $117 is worth in days. Anyways.
Well, all right, Bonnie. We'll see you around.
Okay, sounds good. Talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, Helica, are you there?
I'm
yeah,
still
so I
here.
feel like we can conclude this show. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And I sent you some stuff, so check that out. Let me know. You know,
okay.
Don't be taking forever to watch it because it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'll see what's up. I'm definitely at least like see if I can find it and save it and favorites and stuff like that. And then that's how we'll do it. But so, yeah, this was our Take Tonight pop-up show. I'm sure hopefully we'll have some more pop-ups like this moving forward. And we thank everybody who did tune in, and we'll be back, not sure when. So I'm not going to say we're going to be back next Friday or next Monday. We're still working out how the show's going to go on moving forward. So, you know, we'll just put it out there when we know for certain. And give everyone your info, Angelica, so they know how they can reach you. I don't even have my other phone that has all my info in it, but you go ahead and tell people how they reach you.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Serenity CMD. That is Serenity CMD. And my website is www.serenitycmd.com. And my email is angel@serenitycmd.com. So, yeah, I enjoyed our little pop-ups popping up.
Yeah, we popped up on y'all. We did. We really did just pop up, for real. It was really a pop-up. And if you want to email the show, the email is takethenightradio@gmail.com. The show also has a Facebook page, which is @TakeTheNightRadio, I believe, or @TakeTheNight. There's also Twitter @TakeTheNight. And, yeah, that's how you can do that. You can email the show if you have any topic suggestions and all that kind of stuff. And, again, we appreciate you for tuning in. And, Helica, I'm going to call you when we hang up for a brief second, so I'm just letting you know. Brief second. And to everybody, you guys have a good night. Good Friday the 13th. Be safe and stay positive.
Yeah.
I'll take the night. 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 'Cause you have a heart that's divine. Deserving you all, girl, you're mine. Eternity's ours, yeah, you're mine. We'll live a life. I'll take the night.